All right, we're going to look at central issues in Gedan Ate, the fourth technique in the randori no kata. So the man's coming forward at us. We're making our standard balance break. I'll turn him here a little further. And then we're going to make an entry action, sliding our leg behind his leg. We're going to cut across his body, entering deeply and towards his outside hip out here. The palm remains open and basically coming slightly low so that he has a hard time reaching up with this far hand. If we're way too high, he can reach up and start to mess with it. So the low hand is kind of pushing toward the crook of his elbow. That gives us our optimal elbow control again. His posture is distorted backward, and he has a hard time standing up. You could just stand here for a while and just sort of settle yourself. And oddly enough, just standing here and settling yourself will be enough to throw the guy typically. No big thing. When you want the full action of the throw, you actually push off and you make your nice entry here. You slide in behind. And from this completely fitted position, we have a little stepping action. So we project him off. That could be a rather large stepping action, but you usually don't need it. Occasionally, when you enter, you'll have a moment of conflict here. Maybe you enter with bad posture. If I come in walking in here with bad posture and his posture is upright, then he can be very stout here, and I feel like I'm running into a brick wall. Perhaps he's just a much bigger person, I'm a much smaller person. You enter here and go, wow, he's a powerful guy. If you run into that, you need to remember a little thing that Mr. Tomiki talked about, which is called hardening the armpit, making this whole structure momentarily a hard structure. It means flexing the pectoral and the latissimus muscles so that this becomes a pushing structure that you can transmit energy through very readily. If you're having a pushing structure and it's collapsing on you this way, the arm just collapsing, you can't effectively transmit the energy as well from as far out. So making that armpit hard, very crucial. Another important quality here is you finding yourself in one of these conditions of, it's a little bit of a struggle. Rather than trying to go directly into the push to throw him, you may want to get a little rock in the hip, a little turning action from the hip action right down here. Don't try to fight him in the shoulders. Just keep that structure solid, harden the armpit, and then turn from the hip slightly. When you're locked in with the guy and you turn the hip slightly, whoa, it breaks his moment of power. He's very strong in a static position, but once he gets in motion, this little shoulder rock, boom, it's coming from my hip action. Then the step through can affect him rather easily. So these are all little detail elements of this basic entry idea. The entry is the thing, the Gedan Ate, the hitting low, coming to the hip, and entering deeply against the side of his body. Most of the time in Aikido, we're spending time delivering energy right up the center, right from the center of our body. This is one of those times when we're learning actually to deliver it from the side step or from a lateral step of our body. And paying attention to that kind of gives us insight into the central core deal. If you look at the earliest forms of this technique of gyakugamae-ate, which kind of became the Gedan Ate from Tomiki's 15, you have a form that enters directly almost to the side, has a shearing function, kind of like a wedge shape just going straight to him. So the balance break and the entry become the same thing, and you have a throw off like this. Later we put the balance breaks with it, the balance breaks we've all talked about, the forward angular balance break here, or the more elongated balance break, taking it around into a little bit of tenkanashi before we throw him. We can have a pure tenkan beginning, where we just make the outside step, take him around, enter, and make the throw go. We can have a very nice activity, just dropping him in a hole in the back step and entry for the throw. So a lot of different balance breaks you can apply to get you there. They're all very useful. They're all worth taking a look at. Central issue, body-to-body contact down the side of the body all the way to the leg and the hip and the loin here, entering and making the side step action to throw. It's your Gedan Ate. Controlling a little firmness in the armpit at the moment and using the hip to throw useful tools to help you out. Thank you.